Twitter. 8:17 Central Standard Time, Chicago, and it's 21:17 here in Southeast Asia. So this is the second stream of the day. I streamed about an hour and a half ago for the continuing jobless claims, etc. numbers, which was kind of a non-event, but I thought I was going to get one little more pop on this one here and ended up taking a stop. So that's the trading for the day so far. Kind of disappointing, but that's trading. And the probability of your next trade is 50-50. The sooner you get that through your head, the better off you're going to be. All right, so we're a mixed bag now. We've gone from risk on to risk off, and now we're kind of mixed bag and looking more or less kind of back to risk on again. Not on the NASDAQ, but the mini and micros. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, here's the daily on the NASDAQ, and I would think my initial feeling is we may stumble around here at the big number, and then I think we'll go drop through it down to this 337 area here somewhere for a test, just on the other side of this big fat round number. We have no more earnings to speak of out. We do have an FOMC member speaking at the top of the hour, but he's into his speech now, so not much we can do about that. And here we are, just kind of bluffing along after the number, no movement really whatsoever. And there was the number right there at 8:30. So basically nothing, and it's just flat into the open. We are essentially at the open and at settlements 491. So there shouldn't be any gap rules in apply at the moment at this for this opening. Earlier in the Globex, there was some substantial amount of movement, but it's kind of just turned into a chop fest now. You can see we're just grinding around a little bit short of the open, and 491 is settlement again. So significant amount of gap. Pretty much of the day through Globex, we did trade up into range and actually into value, across POC and up to just shy of the VWAP. And now we're trading down here at the bottom where they closed it out. Yesterday's regular trading session. One would suspect that the Globex stat would be met on the low, but you never know. So we'll see what happens. As we move into the open in about 10 minutes here, 9. If everything's working right here, looks to be. All right. Stream seems to be flowing. And I don't know what the hell they're up to here. I'm pretty disappointed about this thing over here, though. That's just not what I had in mind. And if it were like some of the other guys that don't use stops, you see, that would have been a profitable trade. But I do, because I think managing risk is all important, and I'm going to stick with that. It is frustrating sometimes, that's for sure. Would have been certainly easy to move that stop up, 5 or 6 ticks, and that wouldn't have been stopped out. Say, take it up here to this low. But that's a substantial amount of money. And that flips the RR on its head. So my RR is not particularly as good as I would like to have it now. And that's more or less from pulling my stop up to break even, and then taking small, and then it comes back, and I don't lose money, true, but it reduces the winner to small amounts of money. So I have to figure out a way to look at the statistics on that to see what's really the best way to go, because obviously, winning $20 is better than losing 160, but it doesn't do your RR ratio any good. So one of those things to think about. Got a few $100s to go here to the funding now again. Damn it! Thanks to Monday a week ago, I was about $90 away, and I thought I'd take a trade. Basically, same position, same idea like this, just before the open, and exact same result. However, I thought, well, that, God darn it, and I just tried to trade it, and I couldn't get into the rhythm, and then I was, suddenly looking at daily loss limit and just turned it off. So not going to do that again. And we have 6 minutes till the open. No more news, really, that's of any consequence. Tomorrow's non-farm payroll, so that should be quite an interesting. There we go. Non-farm payroll should be interesting. VIX is 19, up to about 19, which is, I'd like to see that get a little higher. And here we are. This is where our, at 8:30, continuing initial jobless claims and non-farm productivity. All across here, we did have this one, and we were substantially good, but it stayed flat. Way more than substantially good, actually. 42,000 improvement. So anyway, and we got natural gas storage and about it. A couple of treasury auctions. So no news, nothing going to happen to us here out of the blue. We'll see what the open has to allow. Maybe nothing, maybe something. It's Thursday, the 6th of May, 2021. I really wish all of this political nonsense in America would come to a halt. I've seen a lot of elections come and go, and I've never seen one where the outgoing president, in this case, the president, just keeps digging and grinding and stuff. It's I wish they would get about the business of running the country and doing the job they were elected to do, and I think that would help the markets and help our trading. I think. I don't care what side of the fence you sit on politically, and I won't speak to that, but it's just it seems like a real diversion and a real detriment to business in the States and the recovery and all the things we need to have happen for this economy to get going properly and for our trading to improve. I don't know. It's disappointing to me. I don't know what they're thinking. In all the years I've been alive, I've never seen such a thing. It's a new world, I guess. So here we sit, wondering what to do next here. Got about 3 or 4 minutes to the open. see what happened yesterday. Here was that big sell-off day before yesterday. And terrible poor low up here. Look at that, 4 wide. I don't think I've ever seen that. Here's a 3 wide. Jesus criminy. But it was repaired here. But I don't think I've ever seen 3 wide like that. And they never were able to take out this POC, which is kind of, how far back does that go? Clear back to here. That's the POC from clear back here on the 22nd of April. Oh, wow. The market profile POC. And then we sell off. Have a week low here of only 1 from yesterday and pretty much traded within range all day yesterday. It did get down into value at the end of the day. Just 1 ticked into the POC, and that's as far as they got. And they left the value area POC untouched. So there we are. That's the market profile view of things. And I'm a little concerned as to why I don't see 13/4. That's that doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, sure it does. Over here. That's clear back here. Here is this POC right here. Hasn't been touched yet. So regular trading hours. I mean Globex. Regular trading hours yesterday. And Globex today. So here we go. Okay. Settlements 91. So they're right on top of each other on themselves. We're going to get an open here in about 30 seconds. Hook in, hang on. Good luck. Trade smart. Be patient. Trade what you see, not what you think. And remember, your goal as a trader is to trade for tomorrow. And I'm going to use the candles instead of that Heikanashi hoop-de-doo because that didn't do me much good. There we are. We're open. Right at the bottom of that range. And substantially below value. I would think we're probably going to trade lower. Looking at the ES, but or short one. Yeah, that's what I mean now. I just mismanaged that trade completely. I tried to come down here and pick up that profit and mismanaged the trade using the Jigsaw Dome. That's really frustrating. That's real frustrating. And I was exactly right. Quite disappointing. Quite disappointing. Now, how that keeps happening, I'm not sure what to do about that, actually. ES is selling off hard, and I got to think the NQ is going to follow suit. But you never know. Now, see if I can trade it this time and do it the right way without getting stopped out. Now, that's just real starting to irritate the hell out of me. What's going on here? Huh. Well, that's just irritating. Come on, boys, get her down there. Let's trade her down. Oh, there we go. All right, so we got a bracket. Well, I tell you, that's moving, and I'm just not being able to grab that. I'm not sure why. I got to think of a new plan. All right. So we got 2 shorts and a long. Sorry, 2 shorts and 2 losses and a win. So we're 33%. We've taken 2 full stops here at 8. Average winner is a minute. That didn't seem like a minute. 38 seconds on the stops, but anyway. So that's where we are there. Now, are we going to continue to sell off? I'm thinking with this ES looking like that, and we're damn sure out of here and looking through the bottom of value 2 days ago. And we've taken this one now, this POC, VPOC, and we got one more down here. Or are they going to do it? That's the big question. Or are they going to continue to sell it off? They keep pulling value lower, and the POC. And we traded from value to value. These the big value spikes seem to always make a difference to these guys, I have noticed. Guess that would have been a good reversion to mean trade there. Are they going to go to value area high? That's the next question. I would say so. Looks like. And now where are they going with it? Through the roof? ES is definitely driving this thing. Well, that would have been the move I should have gotten on. Right there. So for we're 1 for 2, 1 for 3, 2 losses and 1 win. 2 stop outs here, and this one is a little positive slippage. Good thing. How many times will that thing hold? All right. There we go. And now it's really running up to VWAP. So that bracket came to fruition there. Ooh, look at that ES go. What's that all about? Huh. Well, what is that all about? I'd have gotten that bigger piece of that, damn it. That was just the bracket. There again, the bracket, served me well, but there was at least 20 points in it, which would have been a hell of a lot nicer. Now what are we doing? A little consolidation at the top. And I don't know what to think about that. Breakout to the top side, I guess. So we're 2 for 2. 2 for 4. Well, how the hell you say that? 50-50. $5. Oh, net $9 in the hole. I don't know. It's kind of a grind up like that, and I don't get along very well together. Back to VWAP maybe, and back to VWAP perhaps. Take a bounce. I don't know. What it bounce? What it bounce? Let's see. The answer to that question is no. Well, we can test it really by going like this. Long, you can see where the stop would be at 487, and you can see where the long would be. So had we put a resting order at the VWAP bounce, we'd be sweating bullets right now and looking at a stop. Or will we? Or will we get 20 points? Let's see what'll happen. I'm thinking that it's going to go down to the stop, just looking at the ES over here. I can't move the mouse or this little setup will go away. I have to have the mouse on the buy button so it keeps those orders and lines in place. Consolidating there at that value, we could well go up, but right now we've spent the most of this period of time underwater, and now it's going to grind down to the stop. And there we go, stopped out. So that would have been the stop on the VWAP bounce. And here comes the ES back again. So, so now they're going to run this thing back down to who knows where. Jesus Christ. It didn't bounce at the value area high either. It just went whistling right through that also. So quite a ways off the open. And we're just above half back now. Just fussing around here at something, I don't know what. That's quite the moves there. Well, I don't know what they're going to do with this thing here. I'm going to probably, I might be happy with my $5. Oh, well. $400 in one trade in about 35 seconds on Monday, or yeah, No, Tuesday. So, that's how it goes. It can go in a hurry or against you. Doesn't matter. It just depends on the just depends on how you on your entry position and that 50-50 probability on the very next trade. I mean, that's absolutely the truth. You come to peace with that, the more fun and the less stress trading will become, and then managing your risk so that you're never in a big drawdown for your emotional capital. That's also quite a good one. Important, I should say. Important. So I will wait till the top of the hour here, and then I'll close off the stream. I don't think I will be participating. I'm just a little bit disappointed that I was kind of gun shy here, and I'm happy that the bracket worked. But on the other hand, it would have been nice to get another 20 points out of it. So, so. So many things you can, so many things you can think when you've got that fantastic capability of rear view binoculars. It's everything is so crystal clear. And oh shit, why didn't I do that? I'm sorry. Oh heck, why didn't I do that? Well, it's because it was in the heat of the trade, and you didn't think that that was what was going to happen then, or you would have done that, I guess. That's why I pay absolutely no attention to these people that get on YouTube and they're going to tell you all about their trades, and they pull up a chart and start talking about here and here and there and there and this and that, and it's not live. It's like, well, shit. I got a 13-year-old daughter from Vietnam that can do that. She's more than intelligent enough to look at a chart and say, well, okay, I went long right here, and I got out right here, and I re-entered right here, and I went long, traded it up to here, and anybody and their dog can do that. Just stupid. I don't know why they do. I mean, I don't know why they do. And I don't know why anybody would pay attention to that stuff, because it's just a fantasy. What are we going to get here? Another pop across that volume area? This value area up here to the VWAP? Maybe not. We're not getting any follow through on the ES. That's what spurred this movement right here, was right here. And now we're trading right on the POC. So just, stick your head out and let them just chop it off, because that's what that's all about. Yeah, I'm not seeing any movement here. 10 minutes to the top of the hour in the bracket. First 30 minutes. Oh, well, I'm sure sorry that I took that trade at the number thinking I was going to be clever. That just, and I actually fumbled this one. I have got to figure this out. Either slow this jigsaw down, or I'm not sure exactly why I'm struggling with this, moving these around, but I am. So That's not good. That cost me right here. And it didn't cost me here. This was just a straight up, I didn't do it right. I mean, I entered a trade and thought I was going to get a run, and it just, I just exactly sold the bottom there. So, nothing can be done there. This was a error, forced error, whatever, however you call that in sports. And 2 winners. So, and now we're in the chopperama over here. Let's see what the this thing would have looked like. I was using the Heikinashi here, and I thought, okay, what it says or what I read is that when you see no wicks like this, it's indication of a strong trend in that direction. Okay, great. Boom. Well, and that was the end of the strong trend in that direction till it just, pulled back, and then down we went again. Here, I did not get my stop moved as I should have. Fumbled that one. This was not that kind of a strong move. There's wicks both ways. So that shouldn't have been an entry. This was definitely the correct way to go but the bracket took me out, so that's what happened there. But in theory, you should have held that until you got up here to these wicks. Oh. The only way I can do that is to kill the stop and then apply another one. And I'm still not sure that the software doesn't pick up the second one and move it also. The other alternative is when the stop is moved, to grab it and pull it backwards, but you're only a tick away, so it only takes one blink and you're filled, like right here. Of course, the other alternative is just set up a completely different bracket. But many times that's, made me money right at the, like here. That made me 10 points or whatever it was, $170. 85 points, 8.5 points. And here was just 8. Boy, look at that now. I'm so disappointed that the Renko doesn't. Look at that. Look at that beauty there. And then we go back to the up. Now, is it going to continue to run as these green ones say that it's going to? Or are they going to get it up there and go somewhere else? Looking over here, you wouldn't think it was going to continue to run, but I don't know. I'm thinking not, because VWAP, ES pulled the VWAP and turned around. Yep, there we go. And you see, okay, if you do like some of the ideas are, okay, on the second green strong candle with no wicks, you enter. Okay, so you entered there, stopped out. Entered there, stopped out. Entered there, stopped out. Entered here, stopped out. I mean, that's why these kind of systems don't ever work for me. And what they're going to do here now, I don't know. But the ES is just not playing hardball, I don't think. So I don't think that thing served me right. All right. It's 6 minutes to the top of, or 7 minutes to the top of the hour. And the bracket change, or the period over here, we'll go to the B bracket. Yeah, they're just chop, 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 sucker them in. Chop, 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 chop. I don't know what the ES is up to. It's just fly it up, fly it down, and then get everybody all excited and then do this. I guess. Back and forth across. Look at that. Exactly. That candle is exactly the value area. And now we're pulling off on the NASDAQ. Down to the VWAP, I'm assuming. POC, the VPOC. When I talk about the POC here on this particular trigger chart, there is no market profile here. So this is only volume profile. This is the VPOC, or the volume profile. Volume, value area low and value area high, and VWAP. Over here is the POC for the TPOs and the volume. So, in case that's confusing. Anybody? So we came into this, tried to trade that number and took a loss, a stop. And now we're 50-50 here. Had 2 wins and 2 losses. So that 50-50. And we're at a walloping $5 profit. And here we go in the sell-off mode now. Will we go? Will we drop? If they sell it to the bottom of this bracket at the turnover, then oftentimes it will continue in that direction. And the ES is definitely making heavy noises over here. It's breathing heavy over here. So that would have been a nice short to take across the value area. I got a little nervous right here. But this would have been a nice mean reversion and, or, trip across value. Didn't really have a lot of delta with it until just this little bit. And then there, I can't grab those fast enough to get on them, personally. And the ES is still just chopping around value. I don't know what, if or what they're waiting for. There's no more news out that I'm aware of, on the calendar anyway. Love to get a nice one little 8-pointer, or 20 would be great, but I'd love to get one of the positive bracket trade there to just get a couple more dollars in the pot. Always nice to get back to green, which I did already, so not worried about that at this point. But it would be nice to throw a winner in there now, and now it makes some ground on the equity up towards that target of 53,000, which I was still pissed at myself about that last week. Yeah, there we are, smacking value down. Here comes the ES. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. I think it goes without saying, yes, we did put in the Quebec stat long ago. Come on, quit that. I don't know what to think here. Right at value area low. ES is making heavy noises, but I don't know whether this thing is thinking it's going to go along with it or not. Not really getting any conviction on the delta. Not getting much conviction there. So are they going to think, okay, this is fun. Now let's go back the other way. This is a spot for an asymmetrical mean reversion trade. If you entered long right here, you could put your stop below here, say 3 ticks, and say this is where I'm going to be wrong, and trade for the mean reversion back to the POC. Now we're getting a little far away from it, but you know that's a trade that I should take, and I don't very frequently, but I'm aware of. I've also noticed the power that these little volume spikes seem to have quite often. If you notice, boom, quite often it comes up to that and turns around. I'll trade back to them, go the other way. And I'm not real sure how they're even made. Just one line at that. It seems, it must be a big order, I guess. I don't see any big orders in the books, but there's a 35 down there at 3,100. Traded out 32 too, so it traded out. That's the kind of run you want to have happen. That's what happened the other night, and I had that 20 points. It just went and down it went. And that's always nice. This stop and fall thing, I don't know what to think about these things here. You know, look at that wick test up just to get everybody shook up when it goes over the value area low and then turns around and does this muffin thing. I don't know. And what's going to happen here? We are, of course, making lower highs and lower lows. In theory, it's a downtrend now. However, we've just barely traded a little lower than our early low. You could also say this is just a chop zone. All your perspective of time and your size and, and your yeah. Getting pretty close to that line I had figured here. Only got a few more to go. 351, and we're down here to that support area that I was pointing out at the before the open. Definitely wouldn't be too keen about longs, but I don't see how to get on a short here and still have some, and not just get, you know, wiggled out with stops. Take a bounce off that value area low. Tested there twice. So we did change the bracket right at the bottom. We got made one tick of excess and turned around and went the other way. Yeah. This kind of a choppy, ranging market is hard for me to trade at this point. And I think I will definitely not push my luck. You keep just one tick in that value area low. teasing everybody. But as long as the ES is in this position, I don't think we're going to get a push up off the value area. And then, of course, the second I say that, it'll run up here to the POC. Again to this value area. And we'll see what happens there. These tops are pretty much connected. Hasn't really broken that structure, I don't believe. We're not getting any buyers. We're not really getting any sellers. So, well, here we go. They sold her down there a little bit. Yeah. Now they're selling off pretty good on the ES. Huh. I don't think so. I am just not feeling that I have the rhythm here. I see the, I obviously see the swings, but I just don't feel like it's got enough. My timing's right to get in there and get any. Now we're going to get a run, of course. Get any profitability on it before the thing moves. That was it right there. That was the value area low and across. See the resting order, how they respect this value area low. Well, those days are gone. That doesn't happen anymore, I guess. That would be the trade setup with the resting area. So we got to get up to that last high for the target. And we got to get to 37 for the bracket to kick in. And it looks like they're headed down for the stop. So they just are not respecting those levels, which is indicative of a higher time frame in the market, because they don't really know where those levels are or care. They got business to do and they don't much care. It's the shorter time frame, weaker hands guys that pay attention to all this half back and value area high and low and all that stuff. So I'm thankful that I got my money back and $5 ahead and call it a night. And there we would stop. So that's twice we've done this hypothetical on a resting order that I used to trade that 2 months ago quite successfully back in step one. Well, that could have been a one-tick wonder there. It could have been a one-tick wonder. That's real close call that it stopped out or not. But probably would have. Probably would have. With Jigsaw, you can set your stop volume so that a certain volume of shares or contracts has to trade before your stop is activated. That doesn't work with Tradovate, but you can do that in Jigsaw, which is kind of handy, so you don't just get one ticked. You can put in 50 or something like that, and it's got to trade through that amount of contracts before it's going to go up there and get our target. If we hadn't been stopped out, or we would have been one ticked on our stop, right now we would have been out of it because the bracket would have jumped up to +8 points, and then now it's pulled back, so we would have had that 160 bracket just as what happened right here. So hypothetically that would have worked, but Or I'd be storming around the office pissed off because I got one tick stopped and then it ran right up to my target, which is so frequent. And I guess the object is move the stops or widen the stops out, but then there goes your risk management. So that's a thing I just haven't been able to come to terms with in my mind. Which way to do that? And I've watched some people on YouTube that don't trade with stops and double down and do all this stuff. And sometimes this guy wins, but then the next time he's lost $2,800 or something else, and it's like, that's not the game I want to play. I want to play consistent rules, risk management, and trade for tomorrow. Get enough trades in my on my data set that I have that the edge can manifest itself. And I do think I have an edge in that. It's pretty discretionary, but I think I have a bit of an edge. Maybe not as good as some, but anyway. I'd like to get this. I really want to get this combine over with and get into the funded, because I want that pressure of this combine thing off. So I only have a goal, and I'm just trading, and that's that. I think that'll make a big difference in my emotional capital and my emotional frame of reference. So here we go to test the low. Oh, I'm a poet now. Huh. Yeah, so far on the day, we've traded over 2 for 2. $5. Net is $9 in the hole because of commissions. But, it's traded back 2 for 2. So the trades are here. First one was this thing before the number, which irritates me. This was a fumble. I should have gotten my stop up and just didn't get it right, and took the full stop. This is a long with positive slippage, and this is a long with the bracket hitting exactly at 8. So that's where we are. And this chop shit is not interesting to me at all. I am going to wish everyone a great trading day. Trade safe, trade smart, and trade for tomorrow. Let that be your mantra, because that's really, really important. And it's 10 minutes past 10 in the evening here, or 2010, 2210, Southeast Asia, 9/11 in Chicago. And with this kind of a chop zone going on here, I'm not going to try to enter into that and pick myself up any money. I'm basically back to even on the day, so I'm going to consider that a win. There are 2 free positions in trading, long, short, and flat. I'm going to sign off the stream here and call this a day with the flat position. So I wish y'all a lot of luck. If you find some interest in the stream or enjoy pick up anything good or bad, or it at least jogs your thought process that no, I don't agree with what you're saying. I think this and something else. Say something in the chat, comment. Feel free. I'd love that, not to just be the only person talking. And subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button so maybe some other folks will get I don't know exactly how the advertising algorithm works, but I don't monetize this at all. But it would be nice to have some. It would be nice to have some community, other newer folks in the community, and get some dialogue and feedback and a more active community where it's just not me talking all the time. Though this purpose of this is my trading journal, and that's why I try to articulate my thoughts as much thoroughly as I can, so that when I go back and listen to this in tomorrow, tonight, 5 years from now, I'll be able to understand what I was thinking, and with fresh eyes and when you're not in the market, you look at things differently than you do when you're trading. So it'll be interesting for me. And I'm thinking I'd like to take a long here to get across that value area in the this low volume node in the and up to the value area low in the ES. But what they're doing is pulling that value down, and they've already pulled the POC and the value down here on the NQ. And this is just a straight up chop zone or consolidation, whatever euphemism you want to hang on it. We did have a lot of positive delta here, but didn't really get anything for it. So that's not particularly great. And you can see the relative volume is just falling off. So the trading is really dropping off hard. And here come the sellers. Look at that hard bottom, man. 3 absolute to the tick on that. Yes. Wow. And we still haven't put any excess down here on our market profile for the day. So that would be a likely thing that should happen. That we'll get a stop run here. Stop and think of all the traders that have been taking these longs, looking for the pullback, looking for the run up, and throwing their stops along down here. Quite likely to have a stop run below that. The only thing that makes me think it'll go the other way a little bit is that we've brought the POC down as well. But what I think they're probably going to do now is continue to trade it lower and then move that value and trade value down. So the POCs move down, and then they're going to try to bring value down with it. That's my guess. And I'm still sticking to my guns that we're going to get down here to this 329, 340 area. We're awful close. And I think we'll test down to this support area. They had one hell of a time getting back through this when they tried a bunch of times before to do this little pop to the top. But I think they're going to pull back to this area here. If they get through it, then who knows where they're going, down in here someplace, I guess. But I'm sticking with this let's call it 340. Let's call it 330, 340 range. I'll even put a line there. I don't know how to draw horizontal. Probably can figure it out. First time I ever drew a line in this thing. Oops. That's not how to do it. And I think we're going to get to that line in the next little bit. I wonder how you change the color or something here. Oh, there we go. I'm just learning all these great tricks here. Let's put there's some goofy looking colors. Some real green on that bad boy. There we go. All right, that's where I think that support line is going to be. I think we're going to trade down to that probably today from the looks of it. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. All right. So, yeah, they still keep toying with this low, but they can't seem to make it. They just can't get any excess down there. And look at this mess. Talk about stops piling up. Wow. When that breaks, it's going to go kaboom. I'm thinking this isn't quite as much. The 5 minute. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's a 5 minute. So there's a 5 minute chart of this. Action. Yeah, they're selling it down now. So they're making those lows. But I don't believe I'm going to take that trade. Probably should have. That's looking now. They're finally getting some excess over here. So, and if this continues on, it is essentially one time framing. They could continue, which simply means lower lows, lower highs. You know, and one does not take out the other by a tick. In other words, the B bracket doesn't take out A by more than one tick. That's considered one time framing, and that continues on. Kind of a round bottom on the delta, and something or another here. I don't know, a W, a double bottom, a double whatever over here on the on the range. So we did run those stops as expected. And essentially, well, look at that chop zone. Oof. I bet a lot of people took a bath right here. So here was my trading experience over here today. I was going to get clever before the number. What I should get for that. And this is a straight up fumble. I was trying to get my stop move down there to take that, or at least into positive territory, and missed it. And then two trades to the bracket. Got a ticks positive slippage here, and this is straight up on the bracket. Bracket being that one. So we've got a 32 tick stop. I mean, a 32 tick stop. And when profit, we get into profit 33 ticks, then the bracket jumps up to profit of 32. So in other words, you got a one tick spread on that bracket, gets hit 90% of the time. Now and then. Day before yesterday, it did not, and it just ran out for a full 80 ticks or 20 points. So that was a nice $400 trade. This is Tradovate, I guess everybody. That, and this is the Jigsaw Dome. And this keeps sneaking over here, and I don't know why. I don't know. Irritating. All right, so that's where the day's trading is. I should have gotten into this, but didn't do it. I just wasn't feeling right, and I guess I'm still gun shy from getting chewed up the other day for $800 a week or so ago. All right. I will bid you all a fond farewell. Trade safe, trade smart, and trade for tomorrow. Your goal as a trader is to get as many trades in your data set as you can so your edge can manifest itself and you will achieve consistent profitability. And that's a fact. That's a proven revenue model by one of the older, most successful types of businesses in the world. So it's not something I just made up. It's the truth. You put a small probability on your side and you take as many samples, trades, or samples of the day to set as you can, and that profitability manifests itself, and you are profitable. That's how it works. So I'm going to call the stream here at about the bottom of an hour, which is another 4 or 5 minutes. I don't have the notion to take a trade at this time of night. I want to get some rest before get up in the morning. And I'm happy to have my little $5 over here and be profitable, which is, I went into this stream $160 down from that trade pre-market. So I got back and okay, I'm 300-400 up and a couple down. So that's how it's going to be. And if I could probably trade this out for some more, but I just don't want to. I don't want to overtrade it. I'm still a little gun shy from that lapse of intelligence and discipline and everything else from a week ago last Monday, when I was trying to do two things at the same time, and I just ended up screwing myself. So I'm not going to do that anymore. And here we go back to, yeah, you see how they've pulled the value area low down now. Earlier we were talking, it was up in here, and they brought the POC down. Now they brought the value area low down, and they're going to keep making lower value and lower range. They never traded back into value from yesterday, so they've traded off from that ever since. You'd get some excess on the B bracket here, so it's possible they traded back the other way, no question about it. But so far, that's not what they have done, and the ES has definitely been selling off. So that's been most of the time. I find that the NASDAQ is correlated with the ES, and generally the ES leads. Sometimes it isn't, but a lot of the time it is. All of these lows here pretty much add up to this bunch of stuff here, and the minute it dropped through here, oop, we fell out right here. So that's a pretty good tell. And we may run up here now. We're up to the POC, and who knows, they may run it up to VWAP. That would be just magical. Once the ES gets across this big volume area and the low volume area in this big volume cluster here, or kurtosis, and there's a big low volume node, they could very well take it back to across that volume area to the VWAP, and the POC is still up here on the ES. It has moved down on the NASDAQ, but we have less of a prominent low volume area, and the major kurtosis of the profile is here. Distribution is right here. So, now we're in the POC, so that's the most traded, most agreed price. So if you want to get chopped up, just be sure you trade around the POC all the time, because that's what they do, is trade it up, trade it down, trade it up, trade it down, because everybody's trading there. That's the most agreed price. That's the definition of it. That's why they call it the point of control. Now, if they can get through this and get some traction led by the ES into this area, this would be a great long back to the, I think I would be interested to take that long back up to the VWAP and the value area high, but not with the ES doing this monkey business and these guys fluffling around over here below POC. So I'm going to be content with my $5, and I'll buy myself a coffee. Except they're locking the place down again, so supposedly, so I probably won't. Okay. Getting ready for the C bracket here. Another couple minutes. That would be the C period over here. A is the first period, B is the second, C, it's like the alphabet, right? So C, they're going to open up down here lower. If C continues to break lower again now, that would still constitute one time framing in market profile speak. We'll see what happens. I'll hang around till the C bracket opens, and then I'm going to wind it down. So now are they going to go? Here we're looking like we're thinking about it over here. Awful close to the C bracket, you never know. They like to fuss around with it right there at that bar change, bracket change, whatever you want, however you want to think about it. These clocks are showing you when the bar is going to change. Ooh, sorry. So see what happened when they do that peekaboo up here, and everybody gets excited that they're going to run it up, and then they jerk the rug out from under you. Same thing with the ES. I'm thinking that they're going to open this at down here in the lower quadrant and probably run down with C. Because as I was saying earlier, I think makes sense to me that they're going to trade down to this area here that we've I put this line here to this, whatever it is 35, 40, between 30 and 40, this range right here where they had so much trouble getting through all this resistance. And that's now going to act as support. And here we come. So they don't have far to travel to get down to that. So it'll be real interesting to see in the morning how that line, how price reacted when it got there. And I do believe that's where it's going to head. That's where it's going to head before it's over today. So we're open on C. We're sitting right on the POC of the market profile. Oops, which is kind of a hard to see red line. This green area is the value area, and this is half back, so it's half distance from the top to the bottom. This is the market profile chart, and this is the value area. So this is essentially the same as this right over here, POC and all. There you go. All right, traders, trade safe, trade smart, trade for tomorrow, and enjoy yourself. If you find some value here, subscribe, mash the thumbs up deal so some other people can hear about this, and maybe we'll get a community of input. Feel free to use the chat. Well, now we're going to go, it looks like here. Are we? Or is this another fake out? These head fakes are starting to really irritate me. And that's what's going to happen is I'm going to get in a trade and not be able to let this off and go to bed. And that's going to really take me on top of everything else. Yeah, see? Oh, head fake. Get excited. Nope. Yeah. And we're just not getting the delta follow through. It's not making a new high. Did get one pickup in relative volume. Now look at how that changed. Look at how the relative volume dropped down in this chop zone to basically nothing. And now all of a sudden, here it comes. Here comes the volume back in. Relative volume. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, traders, trade smart, trade safe, trade for tomorrow. I hope you're well. Wherever you are in the world, stay healthy. Obviously, don't blow up your account. That's what trade for tomorrow means, because no matter what you do, how you study, what courses you take, whatever you read, who you listen to, whatever, does you no good if you've blown up and you can't trade. And if you're sick and can't trade, that's no good too. So take care of yourself, wear a mask, do whatever it is you got to do, and trade what you see, not what you think. Have a good one. Manage your risk. That's the most important thing.